My name is Miguel Carrasco, and my parents immigrated to Canada. I'm 34 years old, and I've been a Beachbody coach now for 17 months. Before I became a Beachbody coach, I worked for almost 16 years in the software development field. Financially, I guess my career and all that was actually going really, really well. Health-wise, things, I guess, weren't going that well. I didn't realize it, but over the years, I started gaining weight. I started gaining about 5 pounds a year till I got to the point where I was about 232 pounds. The breaking point for me with my life was one day I picked up my son at daycare, and when I got in the car, my left hand started feeling kind of numb. By the time we got home, it kind of started creeping up my shoulder. I told my wife, and she's like, well, you need to get to the hospital right away. Got to the hospital, they hooked me up to some blood pressure monitors, and a doctor came out immediately, rushed me in. That moment, I looked up into the ceiling, and I said, why me? Like, what's gonna happen to my kids? Like, is this it? And I didn't know what was going on. I've never been so scared in my life. So in 2012, in about July, I ended up watching a commercial on TV for TurboFire and P90X. My wife loves infomercials, and she said, well, why don't you buy it? About a week and a half later, they both showed up at the door. So after the third day of doing P90X, I thought, okay, this is too hard, I can't do this. And I went upstairs, and my wife's like, what are you doing? And I said, I can't do this, this is way too hard, it's too hard of a workout. And she's like, why don't you try TurboFire? The next day, I decided to open it, and I'm so thankful I did. And I put it in. After about 5-6 minutes of doing it, I just really liked Chalene Johnson and how motivational she was and inspiring, and it was what I really needed at the time, someone to believe in me. After a month, I'd lost almost 25 pounds, and then at the end of the program, I'd lost almost 52 pounds doing TurboFire. I felt like I could do more, and so then I started back on P90X. Fast forward a few months, I had lost almost 70 pounds. So when I would meet with people, I had lost so much weight, they would ask me, well, what's the program? How do I get a copy of it? I'd help them along the way too. They'd have questions, do I follow the schedule? Do I follow the meal plan? I was naturally becoming a coach without even realizing that I was coaching. Some of my friends said, hey, Beachbody coaching's opening in Canada. You should really become a Beachbody coach. It became interesting because I realized the potential for the business. So in the first 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks of being a coach, I became the first diamond coach in Canada. So after my first Coach Summit in 2012 was really when I realized the potential that was there for Beachbody. Meeting with all the top coaches and getting to talk to them one-on-one was a game changer for me. I came back with so much energy, I came back with so much knowledge from Coach Summit that I just realized that this could become $1 million business if I treated it like $1 million business. So it was about 12 months as a Beachbody coach when I realized that I could potentially leave my full-time job and become a full-time Beachbody coach. And so at that moment, I kind of realized that I was making enough income to replace my full-time income. More the issue was, could I sustain this level of growth with Beachbody? And as the months went on, it just kept exploding and growing further. The most rewarding thing as a coach has been to be able to spend time with my kids at home and actually leaving my other full-time job to be a full-time Beachbody coach, because I can set my own hours. I've seen my daughter push her first tooth. I've been there to help my wife. Just recently, my son celebrated his 6th birthday, and we decided that we were going to surprise him at school. My wife stayed up all night, made Hulk cupcakes. So I showed up at the school, and I just got to see him walk in, and just seeing his sorry, this is gonna cry a bit, but seeing his eyes light up and just seeing me there was amazing. And that was a life-changing moment, just to realize that I now had the opportunity to decide when I wanted to be there for my family for the first time ever in my life. My big goal is now, I guess, would be to retire my parents, and I've always wanted to buy them a property right beside us and be able to experience life with them. That'll be a huge thing for me that I thought wouldn't have ever happened, to be honest. And now I see it happening. Becoming a Beachbody coach is the best decision you'll ever make if you want to become the best version of you that you can be.